Hey, look kids, it's Donkey Kong for Colecovision. Yay. This was originally the pack-in game for the original Colecovision system back when this thing was released way back in 1982. And look at this game. It's beautiful. Well, not really, but still, not a bad choice for a pack-in title for the Colecovision. So, yeah, everyone's familiar with Donkey Kong. It's the game with the ape and the damsel and that Jumpman fellow that you have to guide from bottom to top, avoid all the obstacles and stuff. It's a game that's been on a bunch of consoles and a bunch of formats. Some folks might have played the arcade original or the NES versions, or maybe dabbled in the Atari interpretations on the 2600 and 7800. Donkey Kong on Colecovision, a 1982 release, is a significant step up from the Atari VCS counterpart in terms of conversion. You see it right from the get-go, that the graphical presentation is much improved from the 2600 version, managing to almost perfectly replicate the arcade graphics, or at least manage a fair approximation of the arcade visuals. There are some obvious differences in regards to level layout, not quite the same thing, but for the most part, the Colecovision version of the game was the closest you'd get to playing the arcade game in its purest form. That is, until the NES came along and did a much better job of it. And that's not a knock on this Colecovision conversion of Donkey Kong. For its time, it was probably the best version of the game available to the masses, and it serves as a rather suitable pack-in game for the fledgling Colecovision console. Much like the later NES version, Colecovision Donkey Kong only has 3 of the 4 levels, omitting the cement level. Did anyone cry foul over this back in the day? You're asking the wrong guy. Donkey Kong also has a weird level structure. You start off on the first level, then it goes on to the last level, then it shifts to the elevator level, then it goes back to the last screen, and finally the loops to the first, and my head hurts. And no doubt so does yours. Also, the levels themselves aren't entirely accurate compared to the arcade original, all of them abbreviated in some way to fit the limited resolution of the Colecovision hardware. However, that's nitpicking in a way, because even within the limitations of the hardware, it still manages to nail key gameplay elements to a T, and the levels function more or less as you would expect them to. Control's fairly satisfactory, seems to stick at times, but hardly a major issue. Sound-wise, Donkey Kong manages respectable iterations of the classic Donkey Kong themes and jingles, and they sound fine for the most part. Sound effects are something of a mixed bag. Some are fairly decent, others are somewhat bad. But all in all, sound is alright for the most part. Overall, Donkey Kong got a solid conversion on Colecovision, and was certainly a good choice to include as a pack-in title. The somewhat sticky controls aside, the game plays rather well, looks the part, and sounds great. This was the closest you were going to get to having the best Donkey Kong port at home, especially in comparison to the simplistic Atari 2600 version that still has its charm, and the woeful Intellivision version that I've never played, but apparently people don't like that one for some reason, so if you have a Colecovision collection going, chances are you already have this one, but if not, why not? It's a nice one to add to the pile.